We tame the wind. We tame the sea. We are Ivatan. We do not tame the earth. She is our mother. So tread on her gently, lest our dreams break before they hatch and fledge. Tread softly, lovingly, and on your footprints, flowers of many colors will bloom and be there to welcome you like home when you come again. Our ancestors came on frail boats a few thousand years ago and made these islands home. Some great seafarers among them, killed by the ruthless sea, now rest peacefully beneath stone grave markers, boats shaped in memory of their fateful end in the sea. Look reverently and silently pray for their peace. Do not disturb their dreams, lest they rage like the sea that sent them to their stony graves. Tamers of the wind and of the sea, the Ivitans are the gentle masters of paradise at the northernmost tip of the Philippine archipelago. The smallest of all Philippine provinces, only 230 square kilometers in land area, Batanes is the only province declared in its entirety as a protected landscape and seascape area. On the map, one sees that it is geographically closer to Taiwan than Apari in Cagayan, Luzon. It is surrounded by the waters of the Pacific Ocean in the east, the West Philippine Sea on the other side, the Bashi and the Balintang channels in the north and south, respectively.
It's breathtaking, not just the view but also the people, the Ivatans, because of the distinct character that we have, and for the landscapes and the scenic views. It's God-given.
The view that unfolds before you is magnificent, unforgettable. A land and seascape unlike any other Philippine destination. Archaeology indicates that the islands were created by a series of volcanic activity, dating as far back as 7 million years ago. A north-to-south migration from Taiwan of the earliest inhabitants, called Austronesians, took place in these islands. Evidently, prehistoric Ivitans were a boat-making, seafaring people who lived in small communities and traded with nearby Taiwanese and Cagayanoans. Each of these tribes was headed by a chieftain called Mangpus and settled near cliff fortresses called Ijang, where they took refuge in times of tribal attacks. To this day, several of this Ijang remain identified and visited by tourists to the islands. In 1782, Dominican missionaries landed in Batanes when then-Governor General Jose Basco y Vargas sent an expedition to unify the Ivitans under the King of Spain. The province was named Provincia de la Concepcion, and the capital town was named Basco after him. Within the next decades, government and mission buildings, as well as churches made of limestone, began to be built. Stone houses likewise began to multiply. The growing business and trade between the islands increased contact between the Ivitans and those from Luzon, including Manila. By 1898, Batanes became part of the revolution when the Katipuneros from Luzon joined forces with the Ivatans in ousting the Spaniards. Under the Americans, Batanes became a township of Cagayan. The airport was built, the public school system was introduced during the regime, with children learning English in stone schoolhouses. Upon arrival of the Japanese in 1941, most of the infrastructure was damaged. In 1944, the ire of the Ivatans pushed them to form the guerrilla Bisumi fighters, who valiantly fought against the Japanese but were later executed. The end of the war signaled improved contacts between Batanes and the rest of the country. Since then, the acronym Bisumi has become a buzzword that refers to the 6 municipalities of Batanes, where various attractions of this natural playground are found. Bisumi refers to the 6 municipalities of Batanes. B stands for Basco, the capital and most populous town, which is likewise the seat of government and religion. Here we will find Casa Real, site of the present-day provincial capital building, and Basco Cathedral, the first parish church to be built in the province during the early 18th century. Named after Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception, it is a must-visit colossal shrine for pious travelers. In quiet contrast, the picturesque chapel of Our Lady of Mount Carmel in Chanarian village is a small, more intimate house of worship. With its ceiling artworks of patron saints of the island's 6 municipalities. On top of the hill overlooking Basco town proper, it is frequently chosen by couples to be the site of their wedding vows. Also within its shores lie the Balugan Boulder Beach, locally called Chanpan. Aside from being a sacred fish port, these boulders are geologic proof of the ancient volcanic activity of Mount Iraya. Marine life abound here. Towering above all is the captivating Mount Iraya, the dormant volcano that welcomes arriving visitors in the airport. With enough patience and right timing, you may get a glimpse of its peak, almost always cloud-covered. Next to Mount Iraya is the iconic Basco Lighthouse that sits atop Naidi Hill. Built in 2003, the 66-foot navigational facility guides local fishfolk and sea voyagers. In 1941, the telegraph tower built by the Americans on the Naidi Hill was bombed by Japanese imperial forces. Today, the remains of this communication facility near the lighthouse are to be turned into tourist attractions. There is also the Pag-asa Weather Radar Station, with its commanding 360-degree view of Batan Island. And the Dipnay Suhuan Japanese Tunnel, with its dark chambers and bunker that serve as a lookout spot. Hands down, the breathtaking view of Basco rolling hills dominates many photo shoots overlooking the town of Batan, Sabtang, and Itbayat. The letter I refers to the municipality of Ivana, where the San Jose el Obrero Church is located. Here one can see the Spanish Bridge and the boat-shaped Tampan burial marker, lying very near the Ijang Fortress. Ivana is home to the famous House of Dakay. Unquestionably the most photographed Ivatan dwelling, this lime and stone house was built in 1887. Original owner Luisa Estrella bequeathed it to her nephew Jose Dakay Estrella, whose family has long taken care of it to this day. By far, the most talked about attraction within the community is the Honesty Coffee Shop, located near the port of Ivana. Open 24/7, this simple unmanned store openly affirms that the Lord is my security guard. Most of its visitors are travelers to Sabtang awaiting the arrival of the falua, or vessel, that will take them to the neighboring island. Depending on the weather, the charming Isle of Sabtang can be reached in 30 minutes from the port of Ivana. Visitors may opt to mingle with the locals and sleep over in well-preserved traditional stone houses of Barrio Savidu and Chavayan at a very affordable rate. One can gaze at the perfectly shaped Saviduk Ijang, considered the most beautiful among ancient fortresses. Take snapshots at Duvet Cove, tucked inside the adorable fishing village of Sumnanga. Definitely a visit to Sabtang will be incomplete without a photo by the Ahaw or natural stone ark at Morong Beach. Traveling to Uyugan takes you to the Song Song ruins and the Imnajbu village, site of the first Catholic Mass. Made famous by a local film in the 90s, the Alpad rock formations offer a captivating view of the seascape. And then there's the rustic municipality of Mahatao, located south of Basco, where Mount Matarem lords over. Feast your eyes on the scenic views of hedgerows or liveng, quilt-like patterns that divide farm lots and help support sustainable agriculture in Batanes. Touted to be the best beachfront spot this part of town is the Disvayangan Beach. There's also the Raku Aidi Spring of Wellness, a man-made pool with a view of the Pacific Ocean and Mount Iraya. At Biura Fishing Village, age-old rituals of fishing still exist. While the Mahatao Boat Shelter Port supports the industry's twin goals of fish sufficiency and employment generation. At the colonial-looking Tayid Lighthouse, erected in 2002, a spectacular view of the Pacific Ocean can be had. Dubbed Marlboro Country by the American tourists, the endless rolling hills of Rakua Payaman is a communal pastoral land where cows, horses, and carabaos graze. Get ready to be mesmerized by the roaring foamy waves of the Chawa Blue Deck before venturing to the sleepy quiet parish of San Carlos Borromeo Church. Its quaint library of empty books and the Spanish lampposts, two vertical structures manually lit by fishermen during the Spanish era. Finally, there's the island municipality of Itbayat, one of the world's largest uplifted coral reefs showered by nature's outstanding attractions. It boasts of the Turungan Cave, the most ancient dwelling place in Batanes, the Rapang Cliff, the Santa Maria de Mayan Church, and the scenic Siyayan Island. Of particular interest are the vernacular Ivatan lime and stone houses with kogon roofs that speak of both European and Itbayat architectural influences. To get to Itbayat, one can either take the 12-minute plane ride or enjoy a 3-hour bangka ride traversing the West Philippine Sea. All incoming flights to the province land at the Basco Airport. Lying at the foot of Mount Iraya, this pre-war secondary airport is a challenge to pilots maneuvering this 1,250-meter-long runway. Tourists are welcomed at the arrival area, where a basic orientation is conducted by local officers, and the environmental fee is collected to maintain ecotourism attractions and the facilities within the province. Vans for hire abound, as well as tricycles and jeepneys near the airport. Negotiating with vehicle drivers who have undergone the tour guiding seminar is a must before attempting to visit preferred tourist spots. Within towns, however, walking is the preferred mode of reaching destinations. Still, biking is a faster and healthier alternative, made easier by bike rental facilities that abound. Gentle yet resilient is how the Ivatan personality is most frequently described. Though they are generally shy, striking a conversation with the locals is fairly easy. Ivatans are friendly,
Papu is Lola.
courteous, and predominantly English-speaking. Address an older man or woman as uncle or auntie, and smile your way to finding what you're looking for.
Yung pagiging sturdy ng mga Ivatans, makikita po sa paraan ng pakikitungo nila, no? Because of our isolation, we kind of depended with the care that we give to each other. So, they are generally friendly, but also shy. Kasi hindi po sila sanay makihalubilo sa mga taong dumarating. So, in terms of our services to tourism, mapapansin mo po that the Ivatans are shy. So, we need trainings on that.
Honed by centuries of living independently with one another, the Ivatans have long realized that the whole community exists for every individual. Thus, they are strongly knit and bound by unspoken rules of cooperative labor and mutual care among families. Nowhere else is this best seen than in the look and construction of the island's iconic stone house, all communally built to stand the harshest weather.
Ang kultura natin dito sa Batanes, nakikita natin na lalo siyang nagpo-flourish if people like the Ivatans outside Batanes will come back and cherish the things that we have been doing in Batanes na dapat ipagmalaki natin, hindi natin ikahiya, lalong-lalo na ang ating signature na tayo ay Wakay-powered people. Lumaki tayo sa mga root crops dahil na rin sa ating pagsusumikap na buhayin ng ating mga pamilya sa pamamagitan ng agriculture. We had been very self-sufficient because we knew how to tame the winds, quote and unquote.